Hi there, I'm David Goldman, coming to you from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Here for a brief moment to talk to you about conversions to premium intraocular lenses. People have asked me, Dave, how are you converting so many patients to premium lenses? And I don't think I'm really converting a lot of patients to premium lenses. I think I'm just converting the right number of patients to premium lenses. And there are a lot of reasons for that. There are a lot of factors, and I'll try to go through a lot of them in this brief time we have together. Number one is just don't oversell the lens. Don't try to push it on patients. I've seen patients come to me for second opinion because they felt like they were at a used car dealership because the doctor or their staff was pushing it so hard. And I've seen practices where they'll compensate technicians if they're able to convert patients to premium lenses. I'm 100% against that kind of mentality. I think it should be an all for one to begin with, so patients aren't cherry picked by staff to try to convert them for lenses. But also, you don't want to have them putting pressure on patients to pick the lenses. I think at the end of the day, the decision should really be made with the physician, especially one of this magnitude. And it should be you that tells the patient, this is how much it costs, and don't back down from it. You should be confident about it. So that would be my second pearl is, when you're talking about the technology, you need to believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, then don't do it. If you have staff, they should all be aware of it too. Your staff should be on your team and they should be confident about it. So in my practice, pretty much everyone who works there has had LASIK with either myself or Dr. Milner, who I also work with, and everyone's 2020, most of them are 2015. And they're super happy. When patients come in and they're looking at LASIK, they'll ask staff or they'll ask, a technician or front desk person, hey, what do you think about this? And most of the time they say, oh, it's great, I had it, it's amazing, and that just helps. You'd be surprised how many people will call and start talking to someone in your reception about their thoughts on a multifocal lens. So it's important that everyone in your office is on board, understands the technology, and knows these patient outcomes. And if your patients are happy and that resonates through the whole office, your whole staff will have confidence in discussing lenses with the patients and being supportive of them. On that same token, you need to get great outcomes. You need to pick the right patients and you need to make sure their outcomes are good. I've seen patients coming in for second opinion dissatisfied with their multifocal lens, for example, who had irregular stigmatism, who had severe dry eye, who had bad macular degeneration, etc. You need to be able to pull away from these patients and choose the right technology for them. It's not to say that there might not be some additional toric correction or something they can benefit from, but if there's someone that's not a great candidate for a particular lens, don't try to make it work for them. This is where these lenses get a bad rap, and patients will come in and say, oh, I read on the forums or online, or my friend had it and they had a really, really bad outcome. They're not happy at all. You need to really watch who you implant it in. But on that same token, you need to get great outcomes. So if you miss the target, if they're 20/30 happy, that's great. But if they're 20/30 and not happy, and whether it's PCO within the 90-day global or it's residual refractive error, you need to be able to address that and treat it, or ocular surface, whatever it may be. In my office we have LASIK available. I can do LRIs, I can do YAG capsulotomies, I can treat the ocular surface, whatever it may be. You need to be committed to making sure that patient has the best outcome possible, and that includes dry eye. So patients may come in and they're 20/20, but they're not happy because they're uncomfortable. You have to be able to treat it. Again, I've got Dr. Milner with me who backs me up, but I can get into it too with the patient and make sure that we get them to that 20 happy, whether it's vision or comfort. Again, as always, we've talked about this in multiple lectures over the time. You want to under-promise and over-deliver. Don't guarantee 20/20. Don't guarantee spectacle independence 100% of the time. But if your expectations are met, you're going to have a very happy patient. And that's probably what's built up my premium practice, is just word of mouth. We'll do cataract surgery on a patient, we'll put a multifocal lens in their eye, they're 20/20 ecstatic, their whole world has changed, their glasses independent, they're bragging to their friends, and next thing we know, their friend is coming in saying, I want that same technology. We've had multiple patients that come in, I golf, you've done everyone in my group, and I want to be like my other buddies, and I want to be able to see without glasses too. And especially in this pandemic time, you would think that talking about things like this would be uncouth, let's say. But the reality is a lot of patients are more willing now to convert to premium lenses. They're not going on vacations over the summer. They're not buying, they're not going out to restaurants. They're not going out to shows. They're not traveling. They have a lot of saved resources in most cases. Again, because we're talking about cataract patients. These are patients close to retirement. So most of them have appropriately saved. and now all of a sudden they find themselves saving a lot more than they're used to. So they have additional funds, and they're trapped at home. They're using their eyes much more of the day for reading, working on the computer, TV, driving, what may be. So their desire to be spectacle independent is now a little bit raised, and they have a little more resources to be able to do it. And I've had many patients come in saying, well, I didn't do X, Y, or Z this year, so why not? I'll spend it on myself. And we see this across the board with luxury items right now, whether it's, Swiss watches, fine wines, etc. People are spending more money on those things. Those markets are actually getting better now, not worse. And then finally, your office needs to be premium. So if you went into a spa and the spa looked like crap and you got the menu of services and it was super expensive, you would feel like you're getting ripped off. But when you go to a fancy location, a fancy spa, and everything looks really nice, you have this expectation. Or if you go to a car dealership, just because Ferrari or Porsche may make a more expensive car than a Honda, that's irrelevant. The dealership still matches it. It's going to be a fancier looking dealership when you go to those higher end cars. Your practice needs to be the same way. I'm amazed by how many practices have super, super old, gross lobbies and rooms with, torn up rugs and dirty walls and scratches everywhere, and just have not been cosmetically maintained. This is essentially a cash pay procedure when we're going to premium lenses, and you have to think about it like all the other cash pay elements out there, like a plastic surgery office. You need to have a quality looking office. It's not very expensive to just replace your couch with something that actually has not torn upholstery, for example. You really want to give it a nice appearance. I'm not saying it has to be over the top, but it has to be clean, it has to be modern. You have to give the impression that you're really, at the edge of technology and you're ready to deliver on it. And so those are just a few pearls. But once again, I think if you incorporate them into your practice, you'll find that you'll start doing more premium lenses and you actually don't have to push it. You'll have the patients coming in requesting it, and you'll find the talk is actually quite easy, and you'll find yourself a lot of success in this pandemic times. Again, David Goldman here from Palm Beach Gardens. Feel free to ask any further questions. Thanks so much.